All right, today we are diving into a seriously unsettling story about a paranormal investigation that goes completely, catastrophically sideways, and in the process, unleashes an evil that was never, ever meant to see the light of day. Let's jump in.
Okay, so before we get into the thick of it, there's one key concept you gotta wrap your head around: WILP. The story defines it as a moment that cannot be changed. Think destiny, or fate. It's this idea that some things are just meant to be, no matter what you do. Keep that word in the back of your mind because, trust me, it is the engine that drives this entire nightmare.
The whole story kicks off with this one line. It's simple, but it does so much, right? It immediately sets this mysterious, sprawling tone. It tells you, hey, we are stepping way outside of our normal, comfortable reality. We're going somewhere the rules are about to be very, very different. And that leads us right into our first section. Here we're going to meet our main guy, a pretty jaded investigator, and the bizarre, logic-defying house at the center of it all, a place called Egress.
So, this is Daniel James, and he's no rookie, not at all. He's been doing this for almost 20 years, but he's actually been out of the game for the last 5. And why is that? Well, it's because he already found what he was looking for. Real, undeniable proof that the paranormal exists, and whatever he saw terrified him so much that he just walked away. But now, he's being dragged back in for one last job.
So Daniel pulls up to this supposedly abandoned house, Egress, and right off the bat, something is just deeply weird. He's expecting the usual, rot, decay, weeds everywhere, but what he finds is the exact opposite. The trees are neatly pruned, the walls have a fresh coat of paint, and the inside, it's immaculate. The place has been empty for years, so the big question is, who or what has been keeping it up?
Digging into the case files gives him some clues. The last person to live in the house was this occultist, Faustus McGovern. For a long time, everyone thought he was a total fraud, but then, in the early 2000s, he and a follower named Meredith got obsessed with finding some dark, ancient book, and the story seems to end in 2012 when Faustus's body was found right in the basement that Daniel is about to step into.
And this is where things really start to go off the rails. In this next section, Daniel's investigation and his whole grip on reality just begins to completely unravel as he heads down into that basement.
So inside, the house is just unnaturally warm, but when Daniel checks, the radiators are stone cold. He's still thinking like a detective, using his instincts, and he traces the heat to its source. It's literally radiating up from the basement. He thinks he's just solving a simple puzzle, right? But the puzzle he's about to step into doesn't play by any rules he knows.
As he starts walking down, the impossible happens. The stairs don't just break, they vanish. 1 second, there's solid wood under his feet, the next, gone. He just plummets into total darkness. He is completely and utterly trapped. From this moment on, the house is in control.
Down in the basement, which is now somehow lit, the horror becomes very, very real. The dirt floor itself starts to move, and a skeletal hand bursts through, followed by an entire skeleton just clawing its way to the surface. This isn't some cold spot or a faint whisper. This is proof right in his face.
And as if that wasn't enough, a voice starts talking directly inside his head. It's mocking him, taunting him. It knows exactly why he's there, what he's been looking for his whole life, and it's practically laughing as it gives it to him. This isn't just some random haunting. It feels like a performance, and Daniel's the guest of honor.
The skeleton forces its skull against Daniel's, and bam! He's ripped out of his own time and thrown into this absolutely horrifying vision. He sees it all. Faustus and Meredith sacrificing a young woman, burning her alive, and then tossing her body into a well in the middle of the basement. But here's the part that's truly terrifying. As Daniel is watching this unfold, Faustus looks right at him, straight across time itself. He sees him, and then he banishes him from the vision. He wasn't just a spectator, he was an intruder.
The vision shatters, and Daniel's back in the present. You'd think the worst is over, right? Nope. The basement is back to normal, but when he gets upstairs, he's met by the very same people he just saw in the vision. The ghostly forms of Meredith, now appearing as some kind of sinister housekeeper, and Faustus himself. They're there, and they're waiting for him.
Now, Daniel somehow manages to escape that house, but the experience leaves him shattered. Which brings us to our next section, where we're going to jump ahead 5 years, because the past, it is nowhere near done with him.
So, 5 years go by.
Daniel is a total wreck, haunted by these looping nightmares of what he saw at Egress. He's been in and out of hospitals, he's tried to move on, but the house, it's got its hooks deep in him. It didn't just scare him, it broke him, and he has never been the same.
Then, one day, a letter shows up. It's from a solicitor, informing him that he has just inherited the Egress house from a father he never even knew he had. Suddenly, it all clicks into place. His connection to this house wasn't random. It was never just a case. It's his inheritance. It's his destiny. It's his will.
This bombshell, on top of the years of endless nightmares, it just pushes him over the edge. He makes a desperate choice. If he can't get the house out of his head, he will wipe it off the face of the earth. He decides he's going back one last time to burn the whole cursed place down, hoping he can burn away his trauma right along with it.
But here's the tragic irony. His attempt to destroy this evil is the very thing that sets it free. What was meant to be an act of destruction becomes a terrifying act of creation. As he throws the lighter and watches the house go up in a roar of flames, Faustus's words from 5 years ago come screaming back into his mind. You are just a spark. It hits him. He was never the main event. He was just the catalyst. He was the spark needed to light the real fire. And in that horrifying moment, the full, devastating truth just slams into him. It's that sick feeling deep in your gut. The fire wasn't the end of the ritual. It was the final step. He hasn't destroyed a single thing. He's unleashed it all.
And from the smoking ruins of that house, something new is born. The story calls it the Cloud. And it's not just a ghost, it's something else. It's an entity made from pure despair, a whole legion of souls trapped by the house for centuries, all of its victims now fused together into one conscious being. And for the very first time, it's free.
This brings us to the final, and maybe most chilling part of the story. The Cloud is now out in the world and it is hungry, and its very first hunt shows us just how monstrous this new threat is going to be.
So this is how this thing works. The Cloud starts to feel this new kind of hunger, not for food, but for souls. It drifts away from the ruins and finds a random, unsuspecting suburban house. And inside it finds the perfect little vessel, a china doll sitting in the hallway. It pours itself into the doll, possesses it, and then proceeds to consume the souls of the entire family living there, turning them into its puppets before finally killing them. So Daniel's desperate act didn't end the haunting. It created a monster, a collective being made of pure torment, now able to possess inanimate objects and hunt the living. And so the story leaves us with one final chilling question. The Cloud is free, a legion of souls in one. What or who will it hunger for next?